Jets gave up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to the Dolphins. That's the same amount of touchdowns they'd given up all season before the Miami game. Luckily, they're playing a Buffalo team that scored 3 points last week. Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you here on the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And Pat, they lost at Miami 31-27. But did you take a lot of positives when it comes to that offense last week?
Yeah, I did. First off, they got 27 points against the Miami defense on the road. So that's a positive. So we saw that Braylon Edwards is going to be a factor. And 3, to me, when I look at these guys, Edwards' factor is going to open up the running game, and I think that's going to come back alive as it should.
What about for the defense? Are you concerned with it? Did that show real concerns, or was it just the Wildcat?
Well, no, the Wildcat. Well, let me just address Wildcat first. I looked at the inside triangle of the Jet defense, and if you look at the nose tackle, Chris Jenkins, I could make an argument he's the best. And then you have Bart Scott and you have David Harris. Those 3 guys are responsible for the inside run, and they're pretty darn good, and they got beat up. So you got to go back and study the tape, but right now I'd say Miami got the best of them in there, and that's a problem to the core of this defense, because if that loses integrity, other things will fall apart around it.
What about with Buffalo? All the talk this week about Dick Jauron, how long will he be fired? Will Ralph Wilson fire him? What do the Bills come out and do here?
Well, I don't think they're going to fire Dick Jauron at the end of the season. I think he's in a lot of trouble, but I don't think they're going to do it. Look at the staff. There's really nobody on the staff that can handle this job. I go back to them firing Turk Schonert and putting in that no-huddle offense. Now they're getting away from the no-huddle offense, but at the end of the day, this wasn't Turk Schonert's fault. This wasn't the no-huddle fault. It was the offensive line's fault. You go all the way back. This offensive line has been broken down through trades and terminations and putting rookies on the field and then injuries. And when you have an offensive line like that, nothing's going to work, and that's the problem here.
All right, the Bills come into the Meadowlands as a team that's battered, that's beaten. If they were to pull the upset of the Jets, because it would be an upset for Buffalo to beat New York this week, how would it happen?
You know, the Jets are a team that blitzes, and they're not going to come off their blitzing package. Get this, they have fired the blitz more than any team in the National Football League, and they have the fewest number of sacks. Yeah. And they would tell you, well, we're not worried about sacks, we're worried about pressure. They're going to come after Trent Edwards with plenty of pressure. I think Calvin Pace had a big wake-up call, and Jake Long took him to the cleaners last week. Expect a much better game from him. But it'll be pressure on Edwards, who's sacked once every 20 passes.
Yeah, it was the first game that Calvin Pace had come back, and they lost that ball game. And as we said, gave up 31 points. So, you like the Jets?
I like the Jets a lot in this game, and I think Buffalo is dysfunctional. And if you're not good in the offensive line, I don't care about T.O., and people are talking that he might get traded next week. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can understand why you'd like to bail on those players. But there's not enough going on in Buffalo to ever support them right now, and the Jets win this game by 10 points.
And as you said when we talked about Cleveland-Pittsburgh, Jim Kelly said last week the Cleveland-Buffalo game, worst he'd ever seen. Yes. We'll see how it all plays out. 4:15 p.m. Eastern from the Meadowlands on CBS. And for more on this game, stay right here with CBSSports.com. That'll do it for the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty good man snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.